Cool. Hello. So this is Helen. Hello, Helen.
Hello.
I'm going to give you a high foot.
Hi, Foot.
Okay. So I have a whole intro video about her, and we'll talk about that. So for right now, we're just going to get right into the topics. Topic number one, if you'd be so kind.
We're going to talk about diet culture. I was going to say diet culture and why it sucks. let me let me look at what I wrote to be a little more proper, if I will.
Great.
Let's see. Diet culture and what no one tells you about it.
Great. Diet culture and what no one tells you about.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So.
Do you want me to start?
Please.
Okay.
Please.
Well.
And I'll just pepper in my comments.
Sure. Well, I have some beef with diet culture, as some of Ken's friends know me, and I'm gonna talk about it. I know I look bigger, but here's the thing, and this is what I want to tell people about. I did this on purpose. Okay. And that's what people have a hard time believing. Why? When you looked like you were fine, how come you felt the need to gain weight? And there's a whole, basically, it's literally, I never knew any of this, what I'm about to share with, your audience. Mm-hmm. And it caught me by surprise. Now, a little bit of background, which you know this about me. Well, you actually don't know this part about me. So I've been essentially dieting since I was 11 years old, because when I was 10 years old, I learned I was fat.
Okay.
I had a friend named Travis, and we were hanging out at the time. We're in the car. I remember I was wearing a blue bathing suit with tie-dye on it, and I had my rolls, my little tan rolls, my tan 10-year-old rolls. I thought I looked good, but then Travis let me know that was fat. And in my mind, I was like, my mom always told me that's loose muscle.
I like that term.
She tried to make my pudgy self feel good about me. So she's like, you're not fat, it's loose muscle. But here's the thing. After Travis told me I was fat, I was on a mission. And mind you, this was at 10 years old, okay? That's not good. You should not be 10 years old and going on a diet. So by 11 years old, I was already dieting. And 11 years old, although I was technically obese, I was less than 5 feet and 130 pounds. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty big for an 11-year-old. So I started dieting. And what does an 11-year-old know about dieting?
Correct. Man.
Exactly. So I did it wrong. So it was a lot of not eating, skipping meals, trying to, get rid of your hunger with drinking water. Eating cottage cheese and apples. So basically,
I feel like adults do that still.
Yeah.
To some large degree.
Yeah. And that also led me on a journey to health, because as you know, there's people in my family who don't take care of themselves, with their health, and they're unfortunately suffering about it now. Mm-hmm. And it's just so not only did I want to become and stay skinny, I also wanted to be healthy. Here's where I got myself into trouble. And why I am where I am now. So, okay. I like to say that I'm a perfect example of too much of a good thing is a bad thing. Okay. Because I wanted to be super healthy. So over the years, I learned about nutrition from all the gurus. I went vegan at one point. I did keto for a little bit. I did intermittent fasting for a while. What else did I do? I did the anti-inflammatory diet. That one I stuck to the longest, and I think that one really spurred my, I'm not going to say I had an eating disorder, but I definitely had disordered eating. Okay. Yeah, because I wasn't officially diagnosed with an eating disorder, but my eating became very, very, very disordered. Okay. So I was on this path, on a path, to health. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to be skinny. I wanted to basically have the ideal body, what I thought my ideal body was. Uh-huh. So now I'm starting to do experimenting with diets, restricting my food, just like the gurus told me. Mm-hmm. The gurus, the health, the health influencers you look up to on Instagram, the ones who seem legit. Mm-hmm. The most legit one I looked at was JJ Virgin. Okay. And she was the one with the anti-inflammatory diet. And this woman's got degrees up the waz. Yes. So she seemed legitimate.
I heard you mention about her.
Yeah. And I'm not saying all that stuff is wrong, but what they don't tell you is this stuff is not supposed to be long term. This stuff is supposed to be short term to lose a couple pounds.
Oh.
And they don't talk about the impact of if you do it long term. They don't talk about the impact of if this is, right for your specific body, for your specific lifestyle. So I just tried to figure it out on my own, but I took it too far. So what do I mean by I took it too far? I thought I needed less calories than I actually did. I also started, because I wanted to put on muscle, but I was over-exercising. And over time, it really screwed up my hormones. And I started getting depression and anxiety as a result of these hormones. And how I figured that out was because when I took birth control, I felt a lot better, like mentally. This is years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, after I learned about hormonal health and how it's impacted with diet, too much exercise, and even like outside stress, like it was so eye-opening. And now I learned even more about it, and I was like, what the hell? Like, for example, no one tells you that if you're like a female and you don't have your menstrual cycle, which I didn't. I never had a regular one my entire life. And I thought, no big deal, great. I don't have to worry about it once a month. Guess what? If as a female, if you don't have your menstrual cycle, you're at risk of osteoporosis. You're at risk of cardiac issues.
Wow.
You're at risk of cognitive problems like dementia.
Oh, man.
So here I am trying to eat super healthy, eat the greens, eat the lean proteins, stay away from dairy, gluten, keep sugar out of the house. Here's the thing. These are good tips, but when you're not eating enough calories and you're not giving your body what it wants, that's where the problem lies.
Yeah.
And another thing I used to do too, and people would think this is good, like, oh, you're so good, you're so behaved. Like my brain would be like, I want a burger. And I'm like, no, you'll have an apple. And guess what?
Same thing.
Yeah. So also, like what I learned too, is that for most people, well, people like myself, I'm not going to talk about people who have binge eating disorder. That's a whole different animal. But people like me who essentially had no issues with weight. Yeah, I was chubby as a kid, but I really had no issues with weight balancing and any of that. When you go from like a super restrictive diet for however long, for me, 15, 20 years almost, 15 years, your body goes into an energy deficit. So then to get that energy deficit back to where it should be, that's why you crave donuts, cheeseburgers, and all these so-called fatty foods. So you think your body is being bad. You're like, oh, like no, unruly body. Yeah, body, you're wrong. Yeah. Have the apple, have the banana.
Yeah.
But guess what? The body wants that for a reason.
Yeah.
Why does the body want that? Because it's quick carbohydrates, it's fat, and it's protein. It's everything your body has been depleted of, even though you're eating the salads, the chicken, the fish. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So this is why I'm a little pissed off now, because I was looking up to all of these gurus who, at the end of the day, they're trying to sell something. So they're not putting out this information for the greater good. They want you to buy their book. They want you to buy their protein. They want you to buy their bars, So, of course, they're not going to tell you, oh, if you do this too long term, you could have negative side effects that are serious.
Well, I was thinking about when you said it, because, like, if they're trying to sell something and they want you to sell... The good thing about wellness is it's not like, oh, here's this bottle of water and it's all done. It's like, you should have this for your life. So therefore, that's constant income coming in.
Yeah.
So like, I can see that like the woman, whoever that trainer or whatever was, wouldn't say like, hey, do this and then stop my product or stop, this. She wouldn't say that, because then that'd be shooting herself in the foot, like money wise, kind of thing.
Yes.
Is it wrong? Yes. It's not ethically right. However, like you said, she needs to make a living, I guess. So
yeah, and here's the double-edged sword though, because I've been going to the doctor to fix my issue, and in the medical community, the way to treat this is actually not even in the medical community. I learned how to treat this situation. Which how do you balance out your hormones after you've been restricting for the rest of for a good portion of your life? Your life, you gotta eat. So, but this stuff is not in the medical community. So when I went to my doctor and I told her, hey, I'm trying to get my menstrual cycle running on its own. I'm gonna
necessary for a woman.
I'm gonna follow what I'm learning. It's this book. It's called No Period Now What. Hey, if this bothers you, grow up.
Yeah.
Listen, women like to hear about this, and when men know more about a woman's cycle, do you know how attractive that is? Do you know how many hot points that is?
It's true.
It's so hot. So if anyone's like, click away or whatever, like, grow up, man.
I could talk about it easily. Oh my god.
Exactly.
No,
Ken just walks out.
What was the name of the book again?
It's called No Period Now What.
Know what?
It's by Dr. Nicola Rinaldi, and she's a PhD from MIT, and she specifically studied this, and she's helped multiple women. 90% of women who follow her guidance, they got their menstrual cycles back naturally.
Do you know, I'm just curious, and it's okay if you don't know, but do you know roughly the percentage of how many women experience no menstrual cycles?
Oh, a lot.
It's pretty prevalent?
A lot. So a lot of female athletes in particularly,
Holy
they
crap.
lose their cycles.
This is never, I mean, I'm obviously a man, so I don't go searching for it, but I don't never hear about this.
You don't.
Like spoken about.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why even me as a woman before, first of all, I'm like, okay, no cycle, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know no cycle was in any way negative, except that I probably can't have kids, which I don't really want kids, so it didn't matter to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I didn't know, no cycle, osteoporosis, cardiac issues.
Yeah.
Here I am eating salads and
I know,
chicken
it's
and
crazy.
fish. I don't eat sugar and dairy, and I'm putting myself at risk of cardiac issues.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, what the hell? And dementia?
Yeah.
Dude.
I know, that's almost like backwards, almost. I mean, it makes sense the way you say it, but yeah, I think of like, when I think of dementia, I think of people who only eat like jam on their bread. I mean, and like coffee with a whole bunch of like sugars and stuff into it, like sweet stuff. You know? That's when I think of like dementia.
Exactly.
Like, oh, you're doing that again? So
and
the absence of it is very interesting.
Exactly. And here's the thing. And another reason why diet culture really kind of makes me mad. And if you're not like, if I still didn't know what I did now, I'd still be doing this shit and chasing my tail with depression, anxiety, no period, not thinking I could even fix it. I just be on
becoming
birth control.
Reliant on the birth control.
Oh, 100%. I even told you that before. I think I'm reliant on it, and I have to be on it forever.
Yeah, I didn't know much about it, but it did seem odd to me that you needed to rely on an outside source, aka those pills, to have your body run somewhat regularly.
Exactly, yeah. And it made me upset because, again, I felt like I was a very healthy person.
And you certainly looked it.
Yeah, I looked healthy. I was very athletic. I was very lean.
Yeah.
And but here's another thing I wanted to mention before, and another like something's wrong. So I've been very athletic all my life. I did gymnastics, I did track, I did volleyball. Even when I wasn't in the sports, I would go outside and I'd practice gymnastics on my own. And so yeah, very athletic. And a year and a half ago, I was going for a jog with my boyfriend. Guys, a jog. I didn't roll my ankle, nothing. I went for a jog. I fractured my foot. What's an athletic person like myself, maybe not right now, fam, before. They're probably watching like, what does she mean?
I'll have to throw up a picture or something.
Yeah, I'll give you a picture. I can actually show it on my phone. I can just kind of go to the
I'll
camera.
put it up in editing.
Oh, you can do that? All right, cool. Yeah, so that really was like, what the hell? How could I fracture my foot on a jog?
Yeah, it was
like I
mind-boggling.
said, didn't roll my ankle. Yeah, didn't roll my ankle, didn't step in any weird way. I just went for a jog. My foot started to hurt 4 hours later.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll walk it off. And the pain went away. It went away for a few days. I went for a jog the following week again with my boyfriend. That did it, and the pain did not go away. Swelling of the ankle and everything. I go to the doctor. Lo and behold, I fractured my goddamn foot.
And isn't osteoporosis weakening of bones?
100%.
Isn't that what it is? Yeah. Wow.
So that's why.
There it is.
Yeah. So
early onset, by the way. It's not like you're 65.
Exactly. And remember, my hormones have been screwed up ever since they started. Because like I said, I was already dieting by age 11. You know. Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm not saying I have osteoporosis now, but I just find it very funny that someone as athletic as me who ate as healthy as I did, watching my calories, eating just super duper clean. I broke my foot going on a jog. What am I, made of glass? Holy smokes.
Yeah, that's eye-opening.
It is
Which
really
it was
eye-opening.
to you, I think.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here's what I'm, because okay, I'll tell you how to treat it now. So yeah, it's a little confusing because I know I'm jumping all over the place. I'm very excited. So so I'm not saying diet culture is bad. I just wish there was more information so people could understand that you can't do this long term or you will have consequences. Men too. Now I don't know how it affects men. But because you
Our
guys,
menstrual cycles.
you don't have a menstrual cycle.
Well, yeah, mine's gone. That's why I'm worried. I don't know why.
But it definitely impacts men too. So if men are, if you're dieting too much and over-exercising, that will negatively impact your hormones as well.
Okay.
And it could have negative side effects, but I don't know about them.
Yeah.
Maybe they're similar to what women have, except with the menstrual cycle.
Yeah. No, maybe they're a little more men-specific, yeah. And maybe some of them are not.
You know, maybe men also get osteoporosis and cardiac issues and whatnot.
It's possible. Probably cardiac. It seems like with men, we seem to be more, vulnerable to cardiac problems.
Yeah, and another thing I've been wondering too, like you ever hear like I remember I heard a news story. I don't know if it was a news story or someone we knew at work. Like there was this guy, he was like maybe in his 50s or 60s, randomly died of a heart attack, and I just hear everyone saying, "Oh, he was so healthy. He ran all the time." So now I'm not going to sit here and try to diagnose somebody, but I'm wondering, I'm like, could it be that he was too healthy to his detriment?
Yeah.
You know, did he also have screwed up hormones because of the over dieting, over exercising? You know?
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
And it's probably less obvious for men because we don't have something like a menstrual cycle
to
that
tell
can
you
clearly
something's
tell
wrong.
us. Yeah.
That's a very, very, very good point.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess I'll tell you how you treat it, and then I'll also add, like, other comments, too, to try to clear things up, because this is very confusing.
It's a lot. That's what happens when we have big conversations in 20 minutes. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, it's very confusing, and like I said, because everyone is so into diet culture, this is like, oh, you're just eating to get obese, and that's not the case at all. And I'll explain why, from what I understand. I'm not an expert in this, but this is what I'm learning, and this is why I started this journey to fix it. So, and this only pertains, as far as I know, to people who have a restricted background. This does not pertain to someone who has binge eating disorder. And the difference is, well, someone who has binge eating disorder, they will eat and eat and eat and eat. Even after they're full, they'll eat until they're sick. That's binge eating disorder. This is probably not good. It's not a good protocol if they have this issue. I don't know what their protocol is. I guess the next thing I just want to talk about quickly is, how do you fix this? So how do you fix your hormones naturally, at least for women? Again, I don't really know how to fix it for men. That's not what I was researching. But as a woman, according to Dr. Nicola Rinaldi, who has helped, again, 90% of women, she helped them get their cycles back. So for women have to eat at least 2,500 calories a day, which that seems extraordinary, especially considering diet culture tells women to eat between 1,600 and 1,800 depending on your activity. The problem is, I don't think those calories take into consideration the menstrual cycle. Okay. Which is why it stops. Because not only for women do you need energy.
You need energy for that.
You need energy for everything in your body, but because your menstrual cycle is more of a nice to have, according to the body, if you don't have enough energy to jumpstart that, your body's going to get rid of that first.
Wow.
Yeah, so your body's going to be like, okay, well, we don't have enough energy for this. We need to conserve energy for everything else.
Yeah, we need to breathe and
for your
digest.
eyes to blink, for your brain to function, and so on and so forth. And the more energy you don't give your body, that's when you experience brittle nails, brittle hair, and over time, if
brittle bones over time.
Brittle bones, cardiac issues. So that's the main gist of how it works, how you could screw up your menstrual cycle. But here's the thing, you screw up your menstrual cycle as well by over-exercising, and the reason is because when you exercise, your body releases cortisol. Cortisol could actually stop your menstrual cycle as well. Okay. You got
interesting. That's a stress hormone.
Yeah, stress hormone. So you could screw up your menstrual cycle with not eating enough. So energy deficit, stress. It's really just energy deficit and stress. Okay. Yes, and it could be outside stress too. So if you're stressed out at your job and stuff like that, so you could have you could screw up your cycle, your hormones, by by exercising too much, eating too little to support all the activity you're doing, and or stress. So you could have one that'll throw off your cycle, two, or all three. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, it really sucks being a
In
woman.
this day and age, in this day and age, stress is pretty much like a given.
100%.
You know, probably the other two, but definitely stress.
Yeah. So and just remember, one of these three could do it.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, how do you fix it? You have to eat, as a woman, at least 2,500 calories a day. You will gain weight. Your body will put on, will also retain water as well. And this is because the body, since it's been so used to being starved, it doesn't trust you. So as soon as you introduce, yeah, seriously, as soon as you introduce more food, your body's going to hold on to it in the form of fat and water. And the fat and water is going to mostly go here because this is where your vitals are.
Holy crap.
This is where
you're blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, and it blew my mind too.
Wow.
Yeah, so now here's what happens. Do you stay heavy forever? Not necessarily. What happens is the other thing, you can't exercise. So you have to eat 20. This is why people think it's ridiculous.
Okay.
But it's not. It freaking works. And you can see...
and you got this from your doctor, right?
No. I got this from a YouTuber called Stephanie Buttermore. She did the all-in, and she looks fantastic now. Her hormones are good. She's Gucci. Another woman who is really doing well with it, her name is Kayla Rose, also on YouTube. She went from being 90 pounds. She did the all-in journey, went up to 190 pounds. She gained 100 pounds doing this. Now her weight settled at 150, 160. She's living life, living healthy.
Still looks good and probably is active.
Looks excellent. You would never think she was heavy.
Right. Interesting.
Holy crap. So, but then these women introduced me to Dr. Nicola Rinaldi.
Okay.
Because they read her literature. They brought her on to talk on their channel. At least Stephanie Buttermore did. So, yeah. And so, yeah, this is how you fix it. You have to eat 2,500 calories a day minimum. And you can't exercise. The most of your exercise could be like a walk. And you have to do this until you have 3 cycles consecutively. But when you have 3 cycles consecutively, you can't just jump into some hard exercise. You have to take it easy. You have to ease back in. And if you go back to your old lifestyle of dieting and over-exercising, you're going to mess shit up all over it. Stuff up all over again.
It's okay. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And then your body will not trust you even more.
It will not. It will not. You're just going to yo-yo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what happens after that? So I got my second period. Yay me. Awesome.
Yay.
Literally never had like consecutive cycles in my entire life. So this legit was very exciting for me. But not only that, my mental health, the best it's ever been.
Wow.
I've never felt this mentally healthy in my entire life. Like when I tell you life is just so much nicer. I'm not scared. I'm not irritated. I'm not anxious. People don't piss me off like they used to. I have so much more patience. I'm not in a hurry. Cool. Yeah, it's just life.
You've transcended to Buddha level.
Yeah, I'm Buddha. Just kidding. I look like Buddha.
No. I know, after I said that, I was like, oh, damn, I said that. So.
I saw you praying to me earlier. Come on.
I did.
So,
he's back. He's a she now, but he's back.
So, so I already see the benefits of it. Now, here's the thing. Do I like being this big? Absolutely not. But here's the thing. Because my mental health is better, I don't have the same self-esteem issues like I did when I was skinny. Because when I was skinny and quote-unquote fit and healthy, I still didn't like my body. I always could improve more. It was never enough. Oh, I need to exercise more. I need to diet more. It was just perpetual, like...
Well, you know what? And that mindset is great if you're if I'm making money off of you. That's the mindset I want you to have.
Yeah.
You know, always trying to improve and always trying to put more
into
it. And doing whatever you feel like you need to do in order to do it, or spending money or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And see, so this is why, I'm pretty pissed off at diet culture, because it's just, you think you're doing the right thing, but you're probably doing one of the worst things ever. So here's the double-edged sword. You could screw up your body by eating totally unhealthy, but you could also screw up your body when you're eating super healthy. So what is the quote-unquote best diet? In my opinion, you got to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
You got to eat balanced. So you have to have the bad stuff with the good stuff. You have to listen to your body. When your body, again, assuming you don't have binge eating disorder, if your body wants a cheeseburger, give it the freaking cheeseburger. Because guess what? You're probably not going to want the cheeseburger, tomorrow or the day after. Or even if you do, you could have it tomorrow or the day after, but after that, you may not want it for a while. Like, for example, when I first started this journey and I needed to address my extreme hunger, I had extreme hunger. My old diet was not working for me anymore. I was going to bed hungry every night, more irritable. It was painfully hungry. No matter how much salad I ate, no matter how much chicken I ate.
I've done that a couple of times. It's after
it's
a
torture.
salad. I felt like I had, I don't know, it's weird. I can't describe it. It's like I felt like I satiated some part of me, but not all of me.
Oh, for me, no, it's like I ate nothing. So I'd eat my 1,600, 1,800 calories. My body was like, where's the rest of it? Yeah. So my body only felt satiated when I ate initially the burgers and like the fries. And I also had to undo disordered eating. So I was scared of burgers, believe it or not. I was scared of fries because my disordered eating self, who was so healthy, was like, those are bad for you. Those are so bad.
The toxic
food.
Dumps on a plate.
Yeah, but this is another thing that you have to learn. You have to learn to get rid of your fear foods. So that's another thing for me. But it goes further than burgers and fries. I also became afraid. I realized I was scared of grapes. I was scared of quinoa. I was scared of white bread, even if it's like a nice little baguette.
Because there's gluten in it?
Because too much, in my opinion,
too
much
sugar
carbohydrate.
In the grapes?
Yeah. So I was scared of carb. So I would eat very, very low carb as well. So not only was it, restricting my food, but it was also fear of certain foods because, again, diet culture is like, this is unhealthy. You should never eat it. Eat my protein bars and my protein shakes instead.
Always.
Yeah, always.
Only.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, because a lot of people think this is weird, and I totally understand that. I'm going to wrap up.
Yeah, no, we got time. I just checked.
Oh, good. So what I'm trying to say is, this is weird to a lot of people, but when you really look into it, if anyone who's like, this is crap, Google Dr. Nicola Rinaldi. Look at her literature. Go check out Stephanie Buttermore. Go check out Kayla Rose, both of them on YouTube, and see, they could provide more information than I can right now on this topic, if you're interested at all. And see that, this is something that a lot of people like myself need to go through if they want to get healthy at all, So, and and it's just like, you really have to look at it for yourself. Because I could sit here and bark all I want about, like, whatever it is I'm doing and like talking so positively about it, but until you look at it for yourself and you understand it for yourself, you're gonna think this is garbage and I'm gonna be big like this for the rest of my life. Which I really don't think so, because now
I don't think so either.
Here's the problem I ran into now. My hunger leveled out. So now I don't have that extreme hunger anymore. But now I don't know if I'm eating enough for my cycle.
Oh yes.
So you see what I'm saying?
How do you know?
Well,
can you ask women who have, like, women that you're not on the street, but women that you're close with who have, as far as you know, regular cycles? Can you talk to them about it? Or do they just like, I just eat and that's it?
Yeah, see, some women they're not as sensitive as women like me. So some women, they could be really skinny, they have 5 kids.
That's true.
Everyone is different.
That's true.
Yeah. So, no, I would have to, like, legit call Dr. Nicola Rinaldi, call Kayla Rose, which I'm going to do eventually. Because I feel like I'm kind of running into that territory where I don't know if I could even put away 2,500 calories right now because my hunger is just not there anymore. Yeah.
What do you mean by hunger? You mean like...
I'm just not that hungry anymore. In the beginning, when I started this, I think I was eating over 2,500 calories because my body was so freaking hungry.
Okay.
And my body was, like, not satisfied unless I ate a lot. I've never eaten that much food in my life, obviously. Obviously. But now, like, my hunger leveled out. Like, today, all I had was 3 eggs, a piece of toast, and half a turkey sandwich on a small baguette like this. And I'm full. But that's not 2,500 calories.
Well, no.
So
we got time to go in the day, though. It's only like
I have time to go, and so again, I mean, I had my cycle I had 2 cycles in a row. That's good, so I'm doing something right.
Yes.
But now, again, this is where my new dilemma is, because I don't want to screw up the hormones again and be like, they call it quasi-recovery. Because, so that's my concern. But anyways,
this is just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Maybe just listen less with this and more with this, because this is what caused that. This is like your body was telling you, like, I need to eat, and I need to eat this. And, like, we need more fats and oils in our body. And, a person who has that disordered eating will think, like, no, that's the devil, so we're not doing that.
Yeah. So,
like, now, maybe, again, it's just my humble 2 cents.
Yeah.
Possibly listen to that, like, when you're hungry, eat, doesn't matter what time, or, and eat till you're full. Like you always used to tell me, eat till you're satiated.
Yes.
I did that sometimes, too. I'm like, that looks good enough. I'm like, why is this telling me what's good enough?
Exactly.
This needs to tell me what's good enough.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think that goes to show, again, that I still have trouble trusting my body. Because after listening to you say that to me, I realize I kind of do that. I realize in the morning, for breakfast and lunch, I just tend to not eat much. But then at night, that's when I pack it in. That's just how I roll. And it also helps me sleep better. So I realize, yeah.
Puts me out too.
So I feel like for me, like my food intake is legit like a pyramid, because we start little at the top, and then by the time we get to dinner, we're at like the most.
Yeah. Well, that makes. I mean, yeah, the standard of, like, that seems to be the standard American model. Although some would argue if that's right or wrong, though. Like, they should say you should be eating more in breakfast because that's the most important.
Yeah, but you see, that's very one size fits all. And that's why I feel like diet culture sucks. Because one size does not fit all. Clearly, that's why I'm in this screwed up predicament, thinking I did everything right. But really, I was literally, like, making myself prematurely age. Think about it. Like, you know? Like, what the heck? So, yeah, the takeaway, I guess I want to, like, share with your viewers is, you know, take diet culture with a grain of salt. Listen to your body. Again, this is if you don't have binge eating disorder. You know, listen to your body and see what it says. Like, you know, if you're craving a burger or pizza, give yourself the burger or pizza and then see what happens after. Maybe you'll want a salad. Like, that's another thing that happened to me. Like, for two and a half months, I just wanted no fruit, no vegetable, didn't want to touch that crap. Just fast food. And guess what? After that, now I want salads. Now I want fruit. Naturally.
Or pair them together with, like, a slice of pizza and a salad, you know?
Well, I'm talking about genuine want. Not forcing yourself.
I see. Sometimes I genuinely want that, but that's just me. I can feel it. I'm like, no, like, because I'm a pizza freak. So I'm like, I can have 6 slices of pizza and that's it. And I've done it. But I also think, like, my body's like, no, you know, I could use some greens and some carrots. There you go.
You know? Yes, we see that's very good. That's how you should listen to your body. Yeah. You know, because your body, again, assuming you don't have any other disorders, I realize your body will not steer you wrong. And, you know, that's another thing. Diet culture, we touched on it earlier, makes you think your body is wrong. Your cravings are wrong. No, they're not. Your body is craving that because you probably don't have enough energy in your body to run your functions. But
you know what I will say? A lot of people don't know, though, where the craving... Well, craving is a strong and loaded word. I won't use that. Where, like, the want of someone's food is, where this ends and where this begins. And what I mean by that is, like, maybe a piece of chocolate is good for me, right? Maybe it is. And so I'll have a piece of chocolate at night. Then when I want another one, maybe I do. And this is a continuum. This is not a black and white line. Maybe I'll have another one, and maybe it still won't break the bank. You know, it still won't, like, hurt me. But if I have, like, 7 or 8, or if I have, like, 7 or 8 in 2 days even, like, that's not good. But at the same time, your stomach probably isn't telling you that anymore. Your mind is telling you to eat that because you're not... This is just getting a little beyond diet, because I think, like, it's like, you know, you're unhappy, whatever, there's something going on and you're trying to medicate through the chocolate, you know. Then we're getting into, like that's what I would use cravings for, like, getting into that word. So I almost think, like, you have to... When you eat something and your stomach is hurting, your stomach didn't tell you to eat all that. You know, your mind said to eat all that, like, because you're putting your emotions into your food. I mean, believe it or not, I'm thin, but I've done it too. So, like, I just wanted to make that point that, like, it's good to know, like, yeah, have a piece of chocolate, have 2. But, like, after a while, if you want to have a whole bag or a whole bag of potato chips, this isn't telling you to do that because it's going to feel bad afterwards. It's not telling you to do that. Here is telling you, like, oh, we must have more. And you got to, like, be responsible and cut it off.
Well, you have to listen to your body.
Yeah.
So if you're eating to the point where you're sick, that's not good.
Yeah.
But if your body technically wants something more and your brain is like, that's unhealthy, assuming you don't have, like, any other pre-existing issues, you should probably give your body that. Like, if one day you want to eat a little more chocolate than others, just eat a little more chocolate. Because here's the thing. If you don't, your body's going to keep asking you for it.
To the point where you could finish a whole bag.
Yeah, now you're going to binge it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I learned that.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, I learned that now too. Because, like, before I used to, like, when I was healthy, I used to crave the donut, the burger. And I'm like, no, here's an apple, here's a salad. But then the craving's still there. I'm still hungry. And then I'm like, no, here's the piece of bread with nut butter and banana. Why won't you shut up? And then my stomach's like, pizza. And then on the weekend, I'll go on, like, a crazy binge at dinner, like ordering like 2 appetizers and, like, you know, a big meal.
Yeah.
So the more, again, assuming you don't have pre-existing issues and you come from a background of restriction, it's not bad to give yourself a little more of the quote unquote bad thing, because remember, your body is asking you that for a reason, and it's probably because of an energy deficit. At least this is from what I understand with the issue that I'm trying to, treat when you've been restricting for so long, possibly over exercising and so on and so forth. Again, I don't know how it applies to someone with binge eating disorder or issues with emotional eating. I have no idea how that interacts, or if this is even a good approach for that. So this is a little specific. This is someone who literally had nothing wrong with their body, except they wanted to be thinner, they wanted to be super healthy, so I guess, like, all in all, what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to diet, exactly what all the dietitians, they pretty much tout the same thing. Eat whole foods and eat balanced, eat in moderation. Eat the foods that, are bad for you as well, but just make sure it's balanced, So when you go on an extreme diet, whether it's vegan, whether it's like, paleo, keto, that's when you're going to start screwing stuff up. And if you're doing it long term, that you got to check yourself, because it's probably, if your body's telling you other things, like if you're losing sleep, you're getting fractures and you're an athlete, from going on a jog.
On a jog,
Yeah, you have depression or anxiety, stop looking at everything else and look at what's on your plate.
Yeah.
Or what's not on your plate, for that matter.
Yes, yeah.
So I guess that's all I wanted to say about that.
Sweet. So we'll wrap it up here. Bye-bye.
Toodles.